You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
They got a really difficult road schedule. How about that? Let's start there. Syracuse's road schedule on paper in the ACC. Oh boy. At Duke. Uh-oh. Good luck going to Duke. Cameron Indoor. That's going to be fun, right? At Louisville. This is not Louisville with Kenny Payne anymore. This Louisville team is most likely going to be a top 10 preseason team in the country. And I don't think they're going to be one of those teams that disappoints either. They are probably going to be very, very good this upcoming season. They might win the ACC. That's how strong I believe Louisville is, at least on paper. And I really like Pat Kelsey as a head coach there. He's done a tremendous job turning around that Louisville program in literally a year. Literally. At North Carolina. Syracuse is 0-7 lifetime at UNC. So there's that. And then he got at NC State, which looks significantly better on paper than they did last season. Last season, NC State missed the ACC tournament. They missed it. And now, it looks like they're going to be a top 5 team in the ACC this upcoming year with new head coach Will Wade. They just got Darian Williams from Texas Tech out of the transfer portal. He is a monster. They have dramatically upgraded that roster. They've upgraded the head coach. They're probably an NCAA tournament team this upcoming season. We'll see how all the pieces fit together. Maybe that's their downfall. But talent-wise, they're much better. In fact, it's possible that Syracuse this upcoming season will play the 4 best teams in the ACC, all on the road. Now, again, should be noted with North Carolina that Syracuse will also face the Tar Heels at home. Great. You're going to play North Carolina also at home, who's probably going to be a pretty good team this upcoming season. You get to play them twice, and you also got 4 really tough road games. But with that being said, with such a tough road schedule, the takeaway really is this is a tremendous opportunity. Great moments are born from great opportunity. As head coach Herb Brooks said, he was the head coach of the 1980 U.S. Hockey Olympic team that won the gold medal and beat the Soviet Union, a miracle on ice. And if you haven't seen the movie Miracle, I highly suggest you check out that movie. It has nothing to do with basketball, but still, one of my all-time favorite movies. Those games that I mentioned, at Duke, at NC State, at North Carolina, right? Those really, really tough opponents, and I'm missing one more, at Louisville, right? Those are all potentially quad 1 games this upcoming season. And if you want to make the NCAA tournament, which we're Syracuse fans, I think for the most part, you got to win quad 1 games. You kind of have to beat one of these teams, maybe even 2 of these teams, and hopefully not get embarrassed by any of these teams. Lose by 5 instead of instead of losing by 25, right? Unless you're North Carolina next year, in which North Carolina outside of quad 1 went 21-1 as a team, you're going to have to win some quad 1 games like the ones that I just mentioned in order to make the NCAA tournament. And oh, by the way, it's another tremendous opportunity to break a little bit of a streak here. Because Syracuse basketball, I did some research this morning, and you can fact check me on it. I've been wrong before, but I think I'm right on this one because I went through it multiple times. The last time Syracuse beat a ranked team on the road, you got to go back to 2020 at Virginia. At some point, Syracuse has got to beat one of these really good teams on the road, right? You have to think. At some point, it has to happen. Why not next season? That'd be nice. This next takeaway kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said. Because it's such a difficult road schedule, and even though it's a tremendous opportunity to pick up some really quality wins there, they're going to have to take advantage of being at home. They're going to have to take advantage of this home slate. They're going to have to run through it because the road schedule is just daunting and that places even more importance on taking care of business at home. Funny enough, as bad as Syracuse was a year ago, they were a bad team. They were 5-5 in ACC play at home. And the year before that, where they were a decent team, like they won 20 games, but I don't think they were the greatest team on earth, right? Obviously. They still went 8-2 at home on their home floor. I remember the two losses. They had a meltdown at the end of the game against Florida State. It was really weird. And they also lost kind of a close game, but not really a close game to Clemson that year at home. But here's the takeaway from that. If Syracuse has a decent team this upcoming season, they should still be a pretty good team at home. It's still tough to go into the Dome and win a game. But they have to be at least somewhat relevant, somewhat decent this upcoming season. I mean, we've seen Syracuse punch above their weight at home as recently as 2024. In 2024, Syracuse played I think they were maybe 7th in the country at the time where they played North Carolina. They beat them. They beat North Carolina at home a couple of years ago. When they played that same North Carolina team on the road a few weeks earlier, they got absolutely destroyed. So home court matters for Syracuse. And they're with 9 games at home this upcoming season in the ACC. They're at minimum going to have to go 6-3, but more likely it's going to be probably 7-2 or better in order to make the NCAA tournament with how difficult that road schedule is. That's the way I look at it. 6-3 or 7-2 minimum at home to make the NCAA tournament.